I'm in the...
Let me just set the lights up. Set the lights up. Get the lighting set up.
That's better. Oh, that was green. Hello there.
Wait, oh.
Huh?
Yeah. There we go. There we go. Lights set up. Lights up success. Evening, everybody. Sorry, a bit late there. Bit of a panic. So who we got on? We got everybody on. John, right, before we start anything else, so our love, best wishes, care, thoughts, prayers to all the people of Tennessee, the Carolinas, Florida, all those areas hit in America by Storm Helena. Guys, just, what a terrible, terrible thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely, my heart goes out to the communities and the people struggling there. Just know our love is with you. Yeah, not more I can really say about that without sounding like a condescending twat. Yes.
So there's been some quite bad ones, and
we have
North
had our
Yorkshire
share in the UK.
well.
Yes, we certainly
not
have.
Quite as bad as they've had.
So any of you that are interested, just to let you know, Buckeye Bushcraft is also live over in the States. I've just received a notification.
First off, hello, John, Elusive, Kiwi. Who else we got here? Lemai, Michelle, Stealth, Car Camper, and Owen. And anyone else I've missed?
Like Living Lavoo.
Living Lavoo, hello.
Right, so yeah, you may be wondering about the beard and the trimming, right?
Dirty Faces, hello.
Hi, Dirty Faces. What happens to me on a regular occurrence as I grow my beard, I sometimes pick up a little bit of impetigo under the chin here. It's basically, it's a shingles virus. And what it does, it triggers under here, and there's nothing I can do for it but shave it off and hit it with aftershave for about 3 or 4 days solid.
Yeah.
Just keep squirting it, kills it off, sorts it out. So I was shaving it off, and I intended, because I've got the hat, I thought for a bit of fun, what I'd do is go a bit Victorian. So I intended to actually leave that in there. Unfortunately, I just nipped it out on one side, so it had to go. But I've left the sideys in and the tash long, just for the hell of it.
Yeah, John said there's another lot coming on the 5th of April, 5th of October. So.
God, John, thoughts and prayers. You're in that season, that cycle now, aren't you, where you're going to be getting one storm after the other. And all we can hope and pray is that these storms move off into the Atlantic or stay out in the Atlantic, or at least die down to something of moderation for you guys. Because what you get over there, believe it or not, 7 to 14 days later, we tend to get the tail end of it here. It's never as bad as you guys get it. I know that. But we don't want any more rain in the UK at the moment.
No, it's actually pouring down again out there at the moment.
We've got our own fair share of flooding and problems here at the moment. It could do with clearing off. All right, so I've just come from one live. I've literally watched one live and then ran upstairs, moved things, took my underwear off the side, moved it out the shot and all the rest of it. So I've been watching Owen's live this evening with the deer footage he's got. Absolutely fantastic. Owen, put it up. Fantastically stunning. Yes, just to confirm to any of you that are wondering what they are Sika deer. I had a watch all the way through. They don't have roe deer in Ireland, and actually, just so you guys know, I've put it up on the board there. So basically, in Ireland, you'll find red deer, Sika deer, fallow deer, and from fairly recent times, muntjac deer. They've been introduced there. So the only other 2 species we get here on mainland UK that you don't have in Ireland are the roe deer and the Chinese water deer. Now, that always brings it to mind. And people always, when I'm talking deer, people always go, oh, what about the hart? Okie doke, white hart and hart. There are 2 herds of white hart that remain in the UK. One of those isn't too far
one
from here.
We'll have to go and visit and do some filming for you.
One's in Dunsfold. But hart themselves aren't a species in their own right. They are, basically, traditionally, it was a red deer that was either very light in colour or
Be quiet.
Almost like an albino, okay? And that would be interbred with other white deer. They were seen as very mystic, very, very, special. And so over the centuries, people actually bred herds of these white deer. Now, you can find them in fallow, you can find them in sika, you can find them in red. Very rarely you'll find them in roe, but they have been found in roe. But they were kept as prized animals, not for the table. That's why you'll see pictures of white deer on various heraldic symbols. It was status, really. It was, look at me, I've got a herd of white ones.
I believe there's Guildford's got a museum, and I believe there's a white hart statue, isn't there, sitting, laying down. Well, sitting down.
Yeah. Other things that Owen managed to capture, genius it is, pine marten, spelt with an E.
Oh, I love pine martens. They're like jam sandwiches, funny enough.
And a badger, and he cracked it. He got just the right spot. The guy knows what he's looking for up there. He knows his area. He studies it, follows it, and figured it out. And yeah, that video, that footage, I just sat there watching that, and yeah, blown away, Owen. Absolutely stunning, mate.
Well, this evening, Kaz has got her no drama llama mug full of mint hot chocolate, and it says on there, the path to inner peace begins with 4 words. Not my fucking problem.
And I'm on a big mug of tea because I promised Owen I wouldn't have any alcohol for 10 days. Cheers, Owen. So if it gets a bit boring, a bit miserable, I get a bit grumpy, whatever, blame Owen. No alcohol tonight. It's his fault.
So I'm on the minty options.
Yeah. Yeah, and as you see tonight, getting ready for November. It's only around the corner. Kaz picked me up a T-shirt today. Remember them, generation to generation.
Yeah.
So you'll start seeing me wearing that. It's not often I'm very patriotic, but obviously when we start coming up towards Remembrance Sunday, I do like to poke people in the chest occasionally and go, no matter what, it doesn't matter to me what your politics are, your religion, your faith, your colour, your creed.
Pull up a chair, Lawrence. You're welcome. Nice to see you're not on a late shift today.
Yeah. So, what I would like to talk about tonight, what I'll start by talking about, let you guys start conversing amongst yourselves, is gear. When is the gear the right gear, the wrong gear? When is it time to bail? When is it time to...
Kaz is starting to get cold in the wrist because she's got a wristy mitt.
So I'm going to be interviewing a mate very, very shortly. Be an interesting interview. So this oppo of mine, I've done lots of work with him in the past, and in some quite sticky situations and places. And I know his capabilities. I know he's on the ball. Yeah. Now he recently put down to do a 48-mile walk. Okay, nothing overly strenuous in that for him. It was 48 miles over 2-3 days, camping out as they went. They planned it, organised it, set it all up, and started on it. And it very quickly, due to the weather more than anything, spiraled downhill. Now, these guys were equipped. They had gear with them. They had good gear with them, but the conditions overwhelmed them. And it got to a point where they were, the easy way to describe it, they were in a barn. They were in a barn, set up with their ponchos in a barn, and the weather and the rain was driving in horizontally, and had to make a decision that it's time to bail. Okay. Now, that makes sense to me. A lot of people I know will look at things like that and go, yeah, well, I'd have pushed on through it. It's easy to say when you're not there at the time. But there also comes a point that you have to look at your gear, look at the conditions, and especially look at it and go, is it going to get better in the next 2 or 3 days of this journey, or is this journey just going to turn into a miserable slog through the Somme? In which case, it's not worth doing. The distance may be there to achieve, but you want to actually enjoy doing it. So they made the right decision, pop smoke, bailed, end X, they'll go back and do it another day. But it got me to thinking, how many times have we done that ourselves? How many of us have gone out, set up, you've looked at the weather, got organised, got out there, and the weatherman lied. How often does that happen?
We never lived that down.
Yeah. And then you find yourself facing conditions, and you've got to be wise enough
Evening, Mag.
You've got to be wise enough, experienced enough, and have enough common sense to override that driving ego to compete with nature and actually go, do you know what, this isn't worth it. This is not worth it. And think Pop Smoke. So that's going to be a very interesting interview. That's going to be a very interesting, down-to-earth and very honest point of view. And hopefully it'll help give some other people some pointers. Because one of the things I keep coming across in the YouTube world is people putting themselves into some ridiculously stupid situations. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with going up in the mountains in the middle of winter, right? But do it barefoot, really? What's that actually achieving? Apart from frostbite, losing toes, potentially putting other people's lives at risk rescuing you. Okay, so although that may be great for the views, but that also goes alongside the gun memes with people managing to blow their own testicles off. It's just to me elevates stupidity. But the sad thing with that, it also encourages other people to do stupid things.
Fan dance heroes.
Yeah. So what I try and do with my channel, and hopefully without actually being pointy and telly, is actually say to people, there comes a point where you've got to be sensible. You've got to make that decision. You've got to make that choice and say, do you know what? That's not achievable. We'll back off, rethink it, and do it again. And that's really the basis of that. Yeah, there's no disgrace in bailing. Okay, there's no shame in bailing at all. It's common sense. It's actually, for me, it's a sign of wisdom. I would rather be in a situation with somebody who knows when to say, do you know what, mate, this is a bit beyond it, than be out there with somebody that keeps pushing us to the point we don't return.
Because after the observation,
fan dance heroes.
Yeah,
you fucking right, mate. Fan dance heroes. Yeah. We'll be covering
no screech that. Will be used.
Yeah, we will be covering that on the video. We're one of the things that we will be sitting down talking about is the fan dance heroes.
Sense,
you might be interested to hear some of the comments and points put forward on this, and it'll also be interesting to hear from anybody else out there that's ever been in that world, to hear what they think about it. See what they think. First rule of survival, common sense, stealth. You too right there, mate. There, unless you are in a role, a job, or a position where you've got to face it, there is a time where you've got to go, do you know what? Time to bail. And my admiration always goes then to the mountain rescue guys, the emergency services, the firemen, police, the ambulance, wherever they may be. The people that actually go out, the people that are going to go pull you out of your flooded house, the people that are going to climb up a mountain in the middle of winter in the most awful conditions to try and save somebody's life, they gain my respect. And I always feel for those guys, because quite often they're put into that position through somebody else's thoughtlessness. Don't get me wrong, accidents do occur. Things do go wrong. Sometimes the weather reports are wrong and it can change on you. Yes.
Willow.
But then that comes back to being equipped and ready and knowing again when to say, do you know what? We're not getting off this mountain in this storm. The conditions are getting bad. Let's shelter up. Let's get a shelter organised. Let's get ourselves bivvied up. Let's get a brew on. Let's hunker down and let's get through it. There's a lot to this survival game, isn't there? There's a lot to it. And so where do we go from there? Apart from,
eat the dog.
Eat the dog, yeah. Why do I keep a dog? Because at the end of the day, once everything else is gone, Willow, you're small enough to fit in a pot, mate. And there's enough for you to keep me going for a few days. Oh, yeah.
You were chasing foxes the other day across the square, weren't you?
Yeah.
You're brave.
Yeah, and message from Owen there. Watch out for slippery roots. I've had a taste of that myself just lately.
Roots and rocks.
Roots and rocks, slippery surfaces, especially roots. Tree roots are a stinker. Especially when you're climbing muddy slopes and you put your foot on that. I think everybody's done it. Put your foot on that tree root thinking, there's a solid step, that'll be fine. And it's just a little bit of an angle. And as you put your foot on it, The old boot goes whoosh out sideways. No worries, TJ. Have a good evening, mate.
We have a good evening. My mum down. It was on Dartmoor. She trod on these rocks, and I just looked at her, I thought, no, good idea doing that, mother.
She went, did she?
Oh, yeah. Both legs went up, and she ended up in the river, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gone down many a time. And again, it's
creeping roots, brambles. When you're walking along, they're the buggers. One foot treads on it to the ground, and the other foot gets underneath it, and it
sets
timber.
Up a tripwire.
Yeah.
How's the leg doing? Right. So the leg, an update on the leg. I'm still off it for another week, according to the doctor. They still think it's a torn muscle. I'm not so sure. I'm staying off it. I'm being good. Kaz has been sort of controlling me and keeping an eye on me.
Yeah.
And I've not had any pain in 2 or 3 days. It feels tight sometimes going up and down the stairs. So I'm just resting it. I'm going to give it to the end of this week, and then I might try just, 1,000 meters around the block, a kilometer sort of thing. Very, very gentle, stay close to home, and just see how that feels. It's one of those things. I'm tentative now. It's like, excuse me. I'm very tentative, so it's like start walking, and as soon as it starts to play up, and if it does it again, if I get that sudden cramping again, I'll have the bloody thing off. You can call me Stumpy from that point on. It's
that's getting a double off-roady mobility scooter.
No, it's. I'm saying to the lads today about the walk. I will be there by hook or by crook. If I have to be doing it on a crutch, I'll be doing it on a crutch. But it's always do recce's. Recce's are worth doing. I'm going to be going up onto the Ridgeway. I might even take Kaz out this week. See if Mac wants to come along. Might pick him up. Might have an afternoon out. Go drive up on the Ridgeway. Have a look at some of the points along there. Do some of the key points. Start looking for the park up positions for the route and that. Start analysing it. I haven't been up to Ivanhoe Beacon in a year or two, but that's pretty much our start off point.
Yeah.
So because again, that's going to have to be done before we do this trip. I'm going to have to go out and do a recce. This is the pain in the arse for me being the local lad. So I've got to walk the route before we do the route. So
we've done it many a time in the Land Rover on the byway part of it.
Does that mean I've done it twice? Or can I borrow a dirt bike from somebody somewhere and do the trail riding route? That would make sense, wouldn't it? Mickey might need a motorbike. Time for a motorbike. There's the excuse. I'm going to have to buy myself a small dirt bike, Kaz, purely and simply for doing recce's on. I'm not going to get any pleasure out of riding it. It's going to have to be.
When have I ever had a problem about having a motorbike?
True. I'm just trying to justify it to myself. So, if anybody hears of
we used to have them indoors.
A little dirt bike, give us a holler.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. The diet I'm on at the moment is to
good move,
try and
well done.
I've got to have both my knees done.
Yeah.
So.
I don't need to throw the hints for Kaz. In actual fact, Kaz has been the driving force behind several of my motorcycles over the years.
Little Wolf I found.
Yeah. She will probably start looking
I
around.
found a Royal Enfield, didn't I?
Over the next few weeks, she'll be looking around, and I've no doubt she's the one that's going to be going, Mike, found that for you. You need to go and pick it up. And I can trust her taste as well. It's one of the things. She knows what I'll ride and what I won't. And there's been 2 or 3 occasions where she's actually, I've gone out and bought a bike, a dream bike, and as soon as she's looked at it, she's gone, you ain't going to enjoy that. And last time was the BMW K100, wasn't it?
As soon as you get on it, like that. No, don't like that.
And so, Yeah, she tends to know bikes or know my taste in bikes and what I like and what I don't like more than I do, really. Definitely observant and quick with it. Have we frozen up there? Oh, no, we haven't. No, no, no. You're happy?
Oh, good. Happy with me? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I just want the pain to go, and so that I can be a little bit more mobile than I actually am, because there's nothing worse than not being able to walk out onto the beach and things like that. To sit on the top of the beach
and watch.
And yeah.
And that's why we don't do it.
Oh, because I do try,
She's a diamond.
Thing is, I'm not a girly girl. I like getting muddy with the Land Rovers. I like off-roading. I like motorbikes. I like tractors, lorries. Yeah.
There was a time where there was a phrase that used to be termed, which is Kaz likes to tear her top off and get muddy in the Land Rover. No, right? Meaning remove the canvas from the top of the Land Rover.
I used to like being topless in the Land Rover.
Topless in the Land Rover.
In the mud, yeah.
In the mud, yeah.
That's where the lightweight and took the roof off, yeah.
Elusive, definitely.
Good evening, Janet.
Yeah, it's Janet. Hiya. Editing. Whoa, we love a bit of editing.
And thank you very much for all the positive feedback on my little video of the t-shirt. I filmed on my own phone.
Yeah, that's all Kaz is doing. She cracked that out herself, and she's going. If you're going to be interested, she's going to be doing another little segment. Kaz is very interested in what some people might call pagan foods. We tend to refer to it as traditional Sabbath foods and things like that. The meals that our ancestors produced. And she's also very, very well up on her healing plants and things like that. So we're going to do a little video, which it's not religion based. It's actually more about the meals people used to eat in certain celebrations.
A lot of the recipes I want to share with people are a bit preppy, really, because I've got a really good recipe for hawthorn wine, and you've got to pick 4 pound of hawthorn berries, and that makes wine. So it's another one. Right, it's not food, but that is, a bit of a nice wine. But yeah, there's a few recipes I want to share. I won't necessarily be cooking them all the time, more like explaining them, because obviously it's difficult for me. But
Inkpen Hillmac, yeah. Do you remember Mr. Redway? Bless him, he's gone now. Fortunately, that used to be his favourite spot. So when we
about the video,
when we track across the top of Inkpen, that will be a quiet section for me, because dear old Ian, I can't go across Inkpen without having a tear in my eye and remembering the Labrador himself. Bannock.
I like Bannock.
Yeah, we like a bit of Bannock.
Because especially if you go on to Sticks today, his video on walnuts harvesting. Oh.
Yeah. And
it's that time of year. Like I say, the hawthorns are out there, the walnuts.
It was good to see. It's nice to see other people's foraging videos. It's nice to see what they're doing. And again, for the walnuts, not many walnuts around here for me, so it's not something I get to come across often. But it was interesting to see it from Owen's point of view. Owen's point of view, Stix's point of view, and Stix's video with Twigs. Twigs, the new internet superstar.
Yeah. And I did notice that Jason put that the cameraman should stay behind the camera while the main person. It's not a place to be at in a storm, Mac. No, you're right.
No, Inkpen's quite an exposed spot. And this is the other thing for me, Mac, is to get out and show some of these spots on the Ridgeway route, because Stix obviously hasn't done it, and Owen, he hasn't seen it. So if I can get footage of it, different sections of it now as a recce, and get the various tricky points along it. You know what I'm on about as well. So again, it gives them a bit of an idea of what they're going to be facing, especially in the preparation and their own physical build-up time. Because as you said, Mac, it's a hell of a walk, and it's not so much massive climbs, but punishing climbs and a punishing surface.
I mean, what I'm going to do is obviously you've got Samhain coming up, so the end of the month, next month, which is also my birthday. I'm not hinting, but I'm going to look at recipes for that sort of time of the year, so it works out for those the sort of things you better harvest yourself out there. So I'll probably do a wine and some sort of food, some sort of edible, maybe a cake, or
do something about a month beforehand so people got an
idea. If I bring it up to you,
then
you build it up to it. And I've actually got a recipe book. It's not a pagan one, but I've got a 17th century cookery book, and that explains all the different what they call meats, so it's more understandable for us these days and how they did it. But I might slip a few of those in as well.
That'd be interesting.
If people are interested, that is.
So there you go. If you're interested, let me know. Hit us up. Do you want to see Kaz doing some traditional, old-fashioned, sort of traditional recipes, talking through some of the old methods and explaining some of the old,
like my granny's rhubarb cake and things like that.
Yeah.
You
know, it's
if you'd be interested, okay, I will then.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. Oh, that sounded all. I went all Mr. Burns then. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, that's it, really. Hi, Lee. Yeah, it's to use what is at hand to us, and
that's what our ancestors did. And that's why a lot of these meals became Sabbath meals and things like that, is because they were special. It was using the crops, the fruits, the edibles of the time. It was using what was available to make a celebratory meal, and so the information passed on from that. The average person, day by day, especially for the poorer people, were eating things like pottage, which wasn't particularly nice. Gruels.
I'll do you another clue dumpling, Mac.
And again, so when you came to any form of celebration, whether it be Christian or pagan, it was a chance to take all the goodies and enjoy the goodies for what they were.
Yeah, I believe my granddaughter, she went to a pumpkin farm yesterday. Our granddaughter, didn't she?
Yeah.
And it's a traditional thing that for Halloween we carve a pumpkin, and she wanted a special one, so they made go around all the fields. So I've now got they're bringing it around this week, I believe. I've got a white pumpkin.
Bit of pumpkin carving.
Yeah.
And again,
pumpkin pie.
I like a bit of pumpkin pie. Do like a pumpkin pie.
He'll always, but he won't mind.
In fact,
I've never poisoned him yet.
Any pie. Just pie.
Lucy said I should test it on you to make sure it's safe to eat.
Anything she cooks, I'm always happy to eat.
Okay, Lawrence, yeah, I will.
Kaz is a very good cook. I'm not so much. But she taught me a few recipes and that. But she's always been satisfied and happy with her cookery. More than happy with her cookery.
A friend of ours whose wife thinks, my wife's going to make a rabbit stew. And she came out with this dish with lumps of meat.
I took the lad shooting for his first time.
It like ditch water with floating sweet corn and peas, and that was our idea of a rabbit stew.
Took him for his first shooting on a
Hi,
commission of mine, and we went out and we shot about 8 or 9 rabbits, and they were good rabbits. It was fair size, but not too tough. And I taught him how to prepare the rabbits, quarter them, and all the rest of it. Said to him, take them home. You want to brine them. You want to quarter them, sit them in salt water overnight, and if you can, 24 hours. It helps to break down the fibres. It makes the meat a lot more tender. So any of you that have never tried it, or you're going to who's been doing rabbits for the first time, quarter your rabbits, salt water, and brine them. It really, really makes a difference to the texture and the taste of the meat, and it also takes a bit of that smell away. So anyhow, I gave him those, and he didn't do that. And him and his wife invited us around for rabbit stew, which I thought was a bit odd because it was like, well, tomorrow night come for rabbit stew, and I'm thinking, take a bit longer than that. But we went round for the rabbit stew, which was made in a microwave, by the way, wasn't it? And basically consisted of a quarter piece of rabbit each that had been zapped in a microwave with a handful of peas, water, and some gravy granules.
I don't even think a starving dog would have eaten that.
Tough.
I don't know how she got the gravy so bloody thin. That looking like water.
You could drive nails with it. It was bloody awful.
It's got to be hearty. A stew is a hearty, sticks to your ribs. Yeah, and it makes you feel like you're full, and Mike.
Yeah. So, hey, Dee's online. All right, Dee, how you doing, mate?
I did try watching your video the other day, Dee, but when you got to talk about Sammy, the sound went, and I watched it for about 10 minutes. It was about 3:15 in the morning, and I thought I can't. I was trying to understand what you were saying, so I'm going to rewatch the other one you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't actually like rabbit. Lawrence, it's not because they're cute, funny little fuzzy things. I just do not like the taste of rabbit. I'll eat anything else. And
and as Caroline's first to tell you, if it was push comes to shove, if there was nothing else, then no problems. But in a world of choice, if you don't like something, don't have it. It's one of those things for me. I like rabbit.
My mother used to say, "Oh, well, it's liver." No, it's not.
I've always liked rabbit. And it's again, rabbit's very, very, very similar in some ways to chicken. I
love squirrel. Squirrel's nice.
I've served people rabbit and told them it was chicken stew before now, and watched them eat it and tell me how lovely it was and that, and then I've pointed out it wasn't. It was bunny rabbit. Mute.
Oh dear.
Oh, it's easy done, mate. It's easy, Derek. Welcome to the club. We recently had that with setting up one of our podcasts, which led to a 4-hour Zoom meeting discussion, and a failure to record happens. What can you do?
I like liver. Our boys didn't like it, but they liked I used to cook the bacon and onions in the juice from the liver, where I cooked in the pan first, and they were never worried about that. But
right, so I may be.
You're right.
We're so moving right. So we're on a list. So we're in a social
housing. Bid for it. It's like big. It's yeah.
And we're in a 2-floor, 2-bedroom house. And we've been here 30 odd years.
Yeah, about 32 years now.
About 32 years. Okay, and it's suited us down to the ground. It's been a great home. It's been our home. But with Kaz's mobility issues, we want to move on to something with 1 floor. We don't necessarily need the spare room, although it's handy for this. But if we had a dining room, we could.
But one of the places is going to let us have 2 bedrooms.
Yeah.
One lot will let us have 1. Another one will let us have 2.
Yeah. And so what we're hoping to do, we're holding out, and this is going to be a long-winded thing, is we're holding out for a bungalow. We're holding out for a bungalow so that basically we can live on 1 floor, have the garden, still have the dog, still have our hobbies and our interests and the rest of it, but have Kaz on 1 level. And they keep offering us flats, one level flats, but like 2 floors up in a block
with no lift,
with no lifts and things like that, which obviously would
no dogs, which I've got to have my little emotional support there. So
so
hi Benny.
And again, it's one of those awkward ones. We don't actually want to move too far from where we are. Within 25-mile radius is what we've said, because I'd like to be close enough for my granddaughter. It's.
We had there was one this week, wasn't it? Well, last week now,
Yeah.
for Church Crookham. No, Hartley Whitney.
Yeah.
And but the one we wanted to go for, we couldn't go for because they're the ones that don't let us have two.
Yeah, got
bedrooms.
two districts. So the district we're in will let us have we'll basically swap this for a 2-bedroom bungalow. The district we would like to be in, because we're a couple, will only give us a 1-bedroom bungalow. Now we would take a 1-bedroom bungalow if it gave us the room that we actually need for our lifestyle.
Unfortunately, the one that we were offered that was a 1-bedroom, it had a communal garden. We need somewhere to keep enclosed for Willow.
Yeah.
And it's not being fussy. It's just that that's what it's no good.
We make friends everywhere we go.
Yeah.
We're sociable people. We've always got on with our neighbours. I'm one of those. Even when I've had louder motorcycles, I was one of those guys that would go, do you know what? I've got to go to work at 5 a.m. I'd push it down the road a little way.
And he'd dig all where we go down the alleyway outside our back gate. We had lots of elderly people the other side, and he used to clear a path in the snow so that they could safely get to where the minibus would pick them up.
I think we've always been lucky. I grew up in a village, so community is a big thing for me. So it is a case of get to know your neighbours, even if it is only a morning. How you're doing, and so we've always been fairly easy to get on with. Don't get me wrong, as with anywhere you live, in the 32 years we've been here, there have been a couple of families that have moved in locally that we didn't necessarily get along with, or we didn't see eye to eye. Allowing their children or encouraging their children to come into your garden and pick the plants is going to get their old man a punch on the nose. It's as simple as that. I'm old-fashioned, and I believe in respect, politeness, and good manners. I'll only tell somebody 2 or 3 times, and then eventually I'm just going to lose it.
Yeah, we've got friends in most areas, haven't we?
Yeah.
And
yeah, and we got you lot.
Yeah,
we got you lot. So
you're not getting rid of us that easy.
Why would we have to worry? We've got you guys.
Yeah.
So it's like at the end of the day, it's quite simple. Elusive Cornwall. If we could move,
or Devon, but it's.
If we could exchange down to Devon or Cornwall, we probably would. In all honesty,
we have been trying. We've been on a mutual exchange for 7 years, and have tried, especially Bude, and
people don't want to come up
here.
They either want to go up closer to London, or they're not interested in this area. And it's a funny little spot. It's a quiet area. It's not.
Well, what we do, we started about a year ago, actually downsizing some of the things that we had.
Yeah.
Like the giving the boys the stuff that we had in our loft and things like that, and so it wouldn't take.
It wouldn't take too much. I mean, poor old Kiwi would get a phone call to say, you need to come and collect the forge now, because I'm moving in the next couple of weeks. But I'm sure he could manage that if need be. But yeah, it's what it is. Life is an adventure. I open the door every day, look out, look up at the sun, look at the sky, and I just grin to myself. I'm still here. I'm still kicking. I've still got a wife who loves me. So, what the hell? It moves forward. And I'm always ready for the next adventure, no matter what it may be. And if we end up stuck here for another 10 years.
If there was a flat that had its own garden, then we did go and see one, didn't we? But it didn't work because the garden, you had to go out and into your garden, and the upstairs had a dog that was loose.
Upstairs basically had an attitude that their garden was your garden was their garden.
And their dog didn't like other dogs, so it would be risky.
Yeah, and their dog basically was there first, so your dog's got to be kept indoors. Which I was like, do you know what? We would probably end up coming to blows. We weren't going to get on with these people as neighbours.
This worried me because this dog actually came in while we were looking at this flat. And I thought to myself, well, I've got Willow there, and it's a big chunky dog. If it come past me and killed Willow, you know, yeah.
Yes,
but
it's never
anyway.
nice for somebody to come home and find me cooking.
Oh,
their dog
thank
on
you,
the barbecue.
Kiwi. Yeah, we had this place had a little tiny front garden that was, in front of the windows, but it was, the other dog was using all gardens as a toilet. So
it wouldn't have worked.
No,
we wouldn't. Nice enough people wouldn't have seen eye to eye and got along.
But in a year that's the first time we've actually seen bungalows, and there was 2. So we
just keep our fingers crossed. It'll move on. And again,
she's definitely going to make one of your baskets, Benny.
Next big adventure. I mean, let's face it. About 10 years ago, I got offered a job on an island. Got offered a job on an island off the west coast of Scotland, which would have given us a little small holding, the entire island to ourselves. Nobody else lives there at all, and the Royal Navy would have come and picked Kaz up once a week, taken her to the mainland to do her shopping and the rest of it, and brought her back, usually by helicopter, which at the time I thought, this sounds perfect. But when we actually sat down and looked at it, not
in the ideal world, I have a little small holding with my own chickens, because I do love my chickens and ducks. Apart from the running ducks, because I just don't get running ducks.
We've always said if I won the lottery, right? So we do a lottery ticket every week. When we win, we'll keep fingers crossed for us. That's it. There will be a little small holding in the West Country.
Lee, this house is quite small anyway, really, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
The kitchen, the bathroom is actually bigger than the kitchen.
We don't have room to swing a mouse, let alone a cat. They are elusive. Down in West Country, the bungalows are a good size, but then again, a lot of properties down there are also built to beat the wind, aren't they?
It's know someone in the area you're moving to.
Yeah.
And that's not so. Is it?
Yeah, chickens is like there's a difficulty with keeping chickens now. So when I was a boy, pretty much everybody kept chickens.
Hi, Mary.
So you've got to be aware of things like avian flu. Your chickens have to be registered now. You'd have to register them with DEFRA. You've got to be able to keep them separate.
You have outside.
To legally be able to separate them from wild birds. So there are times when you have to keep them in.
Yeah, Andy.
Pen them in such a manner that they can be outside, but they're not exposed to wild birds.
And he's Cornish. And yes, we've said about we're trying to find a bungalow at the moment, and we've suggested Devon or Cornwall, and we'd love to, but
West Country. It's I love the entire West Country. Obviously, my heart is in North Cornwall, but I love Devon. I'm often taking the mickey out of Devon. I often refer to the old
Cornish Somerset
Devon
as well.
Battle, but I love Devon. Truly love Devon. Somerset, Dorset, Wiltshire. I like Wiltshire, parts of Wiltshire, Gloucestershire, Herefordshire. Love Herefordshire. That's a stunning county. And then obviously getting over the border into Wales. Yeah, love that.
Holdings.
I'm a country boy, basically.
A small holding. It's your own land, but you're not quite a farm.
Yeah.
But you have a certain amount of animals. You have to have a certain amount of animals.
I believe a small holding is below a certain acreage. In fact, I'll Google it.
Jan first. If you Andy, we did a video and we visited a farm, small holding, and had cream tea there, and we had scones. So what he did, he said to please everyone, he put jam, cream, then jam on the top.
Here's the definition of small holding: an agricultural holding smaller than a farm.
Well, there you go. It doesn't have a set size. It's somewhere smaller than a farm, and it's an agricultural.
Bideford, in Devon, because our favourite place is Bude.
Yeah.
So it's just over the Devon-Cornwall border.
Yeah. So small holding is is an agricultural setup
Evening,
smaller than
kitten.
a farm.
How's your holiday going?
Yeah, kitten, or out there in the sun. Yeah, see, elusive.
You have to put jam first because the cream will just.
Yeah, scone should always be served warm. That's what I was always brought up to believe. Should be served warm. If you put the cream on first, clotted cream, it just melts into it, turns into a mush. You put the jam on as an insulating layer. Although, really,
No,
truth be known, it doesn't. However you like it, you have it how you like it. You put it in your mouth. So,
home tomorrow. Well, I hope you have a nice, safe journey.
Hope you have a good journey.
Bideford is the only thing I like in Bideford is that driving Wimpy.
That used to be a destination on the way over.
I would come across the border and go into the Wimpy.
So there used to be two routes for us home. There was what we called the quick route, which was the no-nonsense route. So from Bute, we'd cut straight out across Bobbin Moor onto the A30, up the A303, X to A303, all the way home. Okay. Or there was the
rental.
Do you know what?
Nice.
Let's just have a nice night of it or a nice drive of it, and then we'd go all the way up the A36. We'd literally do the west coast of Devon, Cornwall, come inland, go across the M5 at Tiverton, and then come down through the Somerset levels, drop through the Somerset levels, back down into Wiltshire, and then Wiltshire home that way. And it added a good hour and a half to the journey. But as Mac would say, because he's done it with us loads of times, it was a nice drive, especially in an older Land Rover.
Stupid o'clock in the morning.
Especially in an older Land Rover where you
with our pirate flags on all the vehicles. You can see this line of Land Rovers with pirate flags.
We went on holiday, a group of us, to Cornwall. We all had Land Rovers. So we all set up flagpoles with pirate flags on them all the way down.
Yeah.
And we met a guy on the way down at Podymore in his Land Rover who said, it's about halfway there. Yeah. I'm heading to Cornwall as well. I think the flags are absolutely brilliant, fantastic. Have a great holiday. And we're all separated. Cornwall's a huge county. Right? It's really long.
Yeah.
It's massive, right? And we turned up at this village, and this tiny little village, Port Isaac. You might have seen it in some movies and all the rest of it. So we turned up and we all parked on the beach of the Land Rovers with flagpoles on.
Did we see
the guy saw our flagpoles coming down through the village and actually made a point coming, guys, bump into you and all the rest of it. So that was good fun. Yeah. But again, that holiday was a nice one because I had a Series 3 lightweight, so top speed on that was only about 50, 55. And it was just a steady convoy drive all the way down. And when we came back, I did it.
Tony asleep, and he's flipping Range Rover.
Coming back, I did it on my own because everybody else went, we're knackered. It's been a long week, Beck. We're going to get off.
Mac had his American Spec thing.
Mac had an American Spec 90 with a V8 in it. Big yellow.
Us girls used to borrow that when you lot got drunk. You got stuck on the beach.
Yeah, but good days, good adventures. Yeah. And again, I sit there just watching a thing today about electric cars. Blimey, I'm glad I ain't got electric car. So car taxes going up, and now car companies are turning around sending letters out to people saying, if you don't buy the subscription, we shut your car down.
John, with Jason came round the other day. He goes, did John leave me anything about the scones? I went, yes. He goes, well, I've looked through it and I didn't see it. I said, did you look on both names? He went, no. I said, there it is.
Yeah. Your V8 used to drink some fuel.
But Lee, that place we went to, Oak Track, it was only £17 each, wasn't it?
It was 17 quid each, which sounds like a lot of money.
It's not.
Bear in mind, we don't do it often. We don't often go out for a meal or something
really
together.
That much,
and we, to be honest with you, we got filled up with food. It was, it was.
I know me.
Yeah, massive. But
it was plenty. It's like it was. Could you think about it now? You can't have a piece of cod without paying a tenner.
Oh, blimey, yeah.
And that if it's already sourced for you. Yeah, some beautiful places around Wiltshire.
Wiltshire is a stunning county. It really is. And that's going to be one of the bonuses the way in May walk. So we start in Oxfordshire, we walk our way down through into Wiltshire and cross Wiltshire to Avebury. We'll be finishing at Avebury. So basically what I'll do for those guys that know the area, we will tell you what day we're going to be finishing. It will get publicised. And if you wish to join us at Avebury after our 125 kilometre walk, you're more than welcome to. We'll all go for a pint in the pub in the Stone Circle. And also what I'll do is I will keep I'll chuck up some shorts as to where we are on the route.
Good evening, Ali.
If you want to come and cheer us on, you're more than welcome. Evening, Ali.
I like Somerset. We went. We've been all over Wiltshire and Somerset with the Land Rovers and that.
Yeah. Oh, we used to just clear off for the weekend, didn't we? Just go exploring all over the place.
We did one that we stayed in the Travel Lodge at Exeter and went out from there and did a lot of the Devon byways, didn't we?
The byways around Devon. Yeah. And again, that's it, isn't it? It's get out and explore. It's get out. There's one. Somebody has remarked recently, your channel's supposed to be survival and outdoors, and you're not really doing that, are you? And I said, well, the thing is, my idea of outdoors is get outdoors, get outside into the countryside and have some fun. And if that means going to a small hole and having a cream tea, then that's part of the fun of being outdoors. Whether it's camping's outdoors, whether it's just walking your dog. It's getting outdoors, getting some fresh air, which is where I get some of my pleasure.
You do all the
survival thing of it, which is all this gear behind me. I could probably do a survival video every single weekend. I could go into trapping. I could go into all these things. But to be honest with you, I've done it for years and years and years.
So you've got to have lots of strings to your bow. It's you've been doing one. I did say to
somebody, if I'd thought about it and known what I know now 2 years in, I'd probably have not gone for that as a channel name.
Exactly.
I'd have probably called it Country Ways or something like that, or
but it's
Mickey outside, or something simple like that.
It's outdoors,
But again, the survival side of things, again, it's in everything you do. It's survival.
The prepping thing, buy a little extra tins, stack them away. Bad weather, we've got this rain and that at the moment. And
the other thing is with survival. When we talk about survival, people constantly talk about
it changes because of the rest,
going outside and what happens and goes wrong outside. When I titled my channel Survival, one of the sides of survival that I wanted to cover is every day. And it's a side of survival not many people talk about, is getting through, especially if you have a hard or a difficult life, it's getting through day to day.
If you suffer from PTSD or any debilitating
it's how do you survive? How do you get through? And part of that's morale. Part of that is about trying to pick yourself up, trying to stay happy, trying to keep yourself in a good place. So again, I think sometimes with the titles of channels like my own, it leads people to expect to see a guy out fighting bears, then wearing bear skin.
You're not going to be eating
slugs I try and be honest and keep it a bit more realistic from what I know and understand. So again, it's a lot of get outside, enjoy yourself. Bloody Union Jack's on this. Getting outside and enjoying yourself.
If you've got mental health issues or you've got learning disabilities, it's a list is endless that certain things make such a big impact on your day-to-day life. And
it is survival from day to day. How do you get through the day? And if you're one of those very, very few and lucky people that doesn't have any issues or dramas, then top props to you. But for a lot of people, getting through the day can be painful. It can be difficult. It can be challenging.
Oh, Kit, you like his T-shirt, do you? You stand up.
Right, Kaz found these on
This is on Temu.
So I quite like this one.
Yeah, it says pass it on, lest we forget, generation to generation, and on the back it says we will remember, and it's got the Kneeling Tommy.
Yeah, so
but yeah,
quite like that one. She got me another one as well.
Taking them outdoors, yeah.
So
that's
got me that one as well.
That's got nice. It's got the camo on it, and on the back, veteran and soldier.
So, and again,
I've got another one coming for you. It's a long sleeve one.
Yeah, for sure.
It's soon coming up that time, isn't it?
And somebody
November?
said to me, "Do I worry about wearing things like this?" Right? Somebody said to me, as an ex guy, or as a guy wearing this sort of gear, don't I actually feel a bit worried? You know, I could be putting myself in a position where somebody might attack me, or they might see me as a threat, or
Thank you, Benny.
It's got a Union Jack on it, so you know somebody might see you as right wing. And I was like, really, I don't give a flying how somebody sees me. If they've got the balls to come up and suggest something to me, then I've got the balls to tell them, actually, do you know what?
Laura's getting from one day to the next.
Yeah, it's go and do one. And as for the fear of being attacked, well, yeah, pity the fool.
Yeah,
pity the fool. That's all I'll say to that, because I won't hold back.
Yeah, 11-11.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so
it's differently you wear it is.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you wear. Is it? I'm proud of my nation. I'm proud of my heritage. I'm proud of my ancestry. So yeah, I celebrate it. I even to the point where I will wear the flag of St. Piran, which many years ago I used to wear the flag of St. Piran all the time. And then I got somebody once turned around to me and said, "Why am I wearing a Nazi flag?" And I said, "A what?" They went, "Nazi flag, you know, it's a black flag with a white cross. That's German, isn't it?" And I went, "It's a fucking flag of Cornwall, you twat. It's a flag of St. Piran." And they were like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Those who haven't subscribed to Gittler's channel, he's got a couple of really lovely videos going around as a churchyard and a war grave one.
Kitten, yeah. Big ups to you, mate. That was a brilliant video.
Yeah.
You choked me. You choked me. You chose the right tune. You did the video in a beautiful manner. Really well made. I sat there and yeah, you choked me.
If anyone hasn't subscribed to already, it's Kitten Killer / G7Z.
Yeah.
Good channel. It's a nice motorbike.
And it doesn't. Do you know? Even if it doesn't matter you're a veteran or not. Be proud. Be proud of your heritage. It doesn't matter where you come from in this world, who you are, what your background is. Be proud of your heritage.
Yeah.
Be proud of your father, your grandfather, your great grandfather, your great grandfather, and grandmothers. Be proud of these people because they made you who you are. That is your heritage. That is your culture. That is your gift from the past. Be proud of it. And I don't care where you're from.
That's it.
That is yours to own.
Tincote Cemetery in Belgium.
Yeah.
We've went to France and we've done some of the we've done obviously Pegasus Bridge and Madame, I can't remember her names, Gondry's Cafe and that, and we did Gold Beach as well, but we didn't have chance to visit some of the war graves.
Chap we were with didn't really want to visit the cemetery, and I get that. He didn't think he could handle it, but I intend to go back with Kaz and got some. I feel I've got a duty to go back and sort of visit. And
what I liked about in France, where we were going to Pegasus Bridge. you go through these villages and small towns, and every few houses on the lampposts, they'd have like a flag, and that flag was a photo, a print of someone from the Second World War, and there'll be British, and there was an American, and there was Norwegian, and there were sailors, there were army.
It's one of those things that so it's a bit shameful in this nation, in the British Isles,
their names and that there.
Our government and the politicians want it all to disappear, and in the nations that we helped, it wasn't just us, we helped to liberate. We're still remembered and honoured. The sacrifices that were made are still remembered and still honoured today. As Max said, the Arnhem commemoration this year with, and I'm going to choke now because he put me onto it and I watched it, and it brought a tear to my eye, was to see all the children.
Every child was stood by a grave with a
big breath,
holding a flower up.
Yeah, it's to see the fact still remembered and still honoured today, because those nations had fallen, and we helped to save them, and yet our own nation forgets. It's very quick to just pass it off as nothing, and it should be the opposite. It should be something that should be honoured and respected.
All sides, because they were young on our side, on their side, on all the other countries that came and joined in with it, whether it be on the German side or our side. They're all.
Yeah, it was. It's sad. It is really sad that our politicians, governments, and officials honour it. Now, we one day a year, 11th, Remembrance Sunday.
And our mayor did
one
nothing.
day a year, and it's disgusting, really disgusting. It's one of the ways that I do envy our American brethren is in the fact that they do hold their veterans, the sacrifice of veterans, up to a high standard. It's not something easily forgotten. If there's one thing I could change about the British Isles, it'd be that. It would be about celebrating our culture, our history, our sacrifices, our efforts, and making them part of what is taught as history, as something to be proud of.
Because you all chase our families back. They all go to different countries, all made up of different, like a little soup. So everyone's. I mean, my distant relative was Utsi. The one that was the caveman that was found up in the
when we talk about remembrance, again, what you have to remember: the Second World War, First World War, any of the wars. Look at our brethren and our servicemen from the Commonwealth, the Fijians, the Sikhs, the Indians. Look at these people that came: the New Zealanders, the Australians, the Maori. Guys from Nigeria, guys from the African countries, from Kenya, from places like that came and fought alongside us, guys from the Caribbean, from the Jamaicas, and all the rest of it, that all came together for one fight. So again, when I'm talking about remembering it and respecting it, I'm not talking about it from a white Christian male point of view. I'm talking about it as a time in history that our country here chooses to forget. And not by one day when they put out all the bunting, make the effort to go out and give a mourning. That's it, and that's shameful. That is a shame, because I can guarantee you I can go to France tomorrow, and I can visit towns, villages, and places. I can go in, and if I was wearing my regimental tie or I was wearing my Royal Engineers patch, there would be somebody who would come up and want to talk to me about the history of the place, the Second World War.
Yeah, we've got a large Nepalese
community around here.
Community around here. We've got a couple of all the shops got their own. They've got their own temple back there.
Yeah. So again, it's not just people who sort of look at it and they think I'm being a bit. When I'm talking about the culture of the British Isles, it's made up of many people. The difference is those people are part of this culture. They are part of what made this country great and wanted to be part of what made this country, this land great. Okay, that's the difference. People that wanted to come here, make a life here, become part of the British Isles. I'm getting political now, so I'm gonna dress back a bit from that because again puts me in a difficult position with the channel and that, and I don't want to ever put this channel in a position where somebody says, "Oh, that he's that wing or this wing or that wing." I'm not. Okay, I have travelled the world. I've met many different cultures, races, religions, creeds.
How is little Luna?
And I got on with them all.
Bless her. He had to go deal with Luna because Nikki was in the bar. She had a 1 minute meltdown.
Oh dear. Did she have one of them proper meltdowns? So you go, oh blimey, pick up a little bit of a cuddle.
Yeah, it's Macintosh clan.
Yeah. Put passion down there.
Yeah, that was a hard one.
Yeah. Outdoor Alley, you that's the one word there, isn't it? That's the one word that should be used. Respect.
Yeah, because I've got we got some filial things to send you. There's a couple of bits for Brooke and
a couple of little bits to send up to Benny, haven't we? In fact, we got
Benny's got a parcel. You got a parcel coming this week.
Yeah, we got to send a parcel up to you, Benny, and I'm quite envious of your parcel because Lee Michelle gave you a really, really good tripod. Cool, mate. It's cool. It's stunning. I've actually measured it. I've actually took it apart, measured it, and gone, right, I can make one of those. So, although my forge is going, I have got a couple of little tools that I'm keeping that aren't part of the forge. So I'm keeping things like the welder and that, the grinder or one of my grinders. So I'm keeping a couple of bits back, tap and die set, things like that. So next year, hopefully, once we're a bit better sorted out, I'm going to be making a few. I think some of the guys that came to the first camp saw I make cooking grills and things like that to put over fires and stuff. I'll make things like squirrel cookers, tripods, and bits and pieces like that. So I'll have a go at making a bit more of that sort of thing.
It was getting proper windy up your woods, wasn't it, Benny?
Yes,
I enjoyed
Benny, when you were up your woods, mate, I was watching that one in the wind. You've got a lot of quite large beech trees up there, mate. Beech trees scare me. One of those nearly killed one of my brothers when I was a kid. Just be aware they have a nice habit of dropping limbs and they hardly make a sound when they go. And it's not the younger beech trees that are a problem. It's you see those real big ones with the big thick branches. Yeah, stay away from them in the wind.
Yeah, I've got.
Okie doke, mate. Okie dokie. Okay, John. No worries, mate. And there'll be one heading out to you as well, mate.
Yeah, we've got one. We've got a couple of Gurkha restaurants around here. There's one that's in Aldershot that you go downstairs, isn't there? But I'm thinking the Gurkha Palace that one does that all-we-can-eat buffet.
Yeah, no, that was quite funny, that one. So it turned out that the Gurkha Palace is run by the brother of my old boss, one of my old captains. And, once he found out that, we went in, we had a meal to die for, didn't we? It was like, I could have stayed on that buffet for 3 days. Yeah.
I got to use your poncho. Excellent.
Yeah, ponchos are a good bit of kit, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
It's just such a simple item to keep in your gear.
It's like the Lavu. We're watching
Good.
Living
Benny, good.
Lavu's videos.
Yeah,
Very,
Living Lavu. Yeah, I love those videos, mate. Done a very, very good one today on foraging. That was a real good one. I did like that. Mate, I keep looking for the chicken in the woods up around my area, but yeah, it's either I get to it and it's already been had by somebody else, so I don't want to take any more, or it's I just find it's too late.
Because I never used to eat curries and things like that. It's Mac's fault because we went to Brecon, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I tried a curry there, and since then, Yes, it hasn't got birch trees, it's got FU trees.
I thought they will be if they drop a limb on you. Yeah. There's they're hellacious. So they suffer with something called cambium failure, which is basically the cambium layer on a tree is the living layer. It's where all the health and all the goodness is. And basically, birch trees will sit there. They got a really good defense mechanism where they'll go, you know what, I'm not getting enough nutrients from the ground. I'm not really getting what I need. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of this branch, and this branch. And what they do is they close off
Right, Lawrence, have a good night.
Capillaries that all the sap flows through. So they literally
and we'll have some pagan stuff up for you.
They literally tourniquet themselves off. So you've got this huge limb that just dies. And basically, at the point where it dies is where it's going to fail. And eventually that dead branch just drops off. You'll find round your beech trees, round your beech trees, especially in the summer, height of summer, you'll find lots of little fine twigs. You'll find them normally hanging up just like a few feet off the ground on the lower branches, really fine twigs. And those are the tips of branches where, again, it's done that. It's got to the summer, it's got a bit droughty. And the old beech tree's gone, you know what, cut off the sap supply to them. Don't want them to grow any further. We'll shed those. And the first breeze that comes along, they drop off and they tend to hang up.
Wasn't it?
Brilliant tinder. Brilliant tinder.
Is it prepping camp or the survival camp this year? Someone put their hammock up on the tree, and the tree
on a dead tree.
Yeah, it was on a dead tree, and the tree fell.
They prepped for something.
Yeah, they nearly had a nasty awakening.
Night, Ellen.
I eat more spicier things than you now.
Yeah, it's quite weird. My spice levels dropped off. Caroline's spice levels doing that. Although we got the Doom chilies.
Yes.
Are drying quite nicely.
And a shout out to Stefan.
yeah. These are drying quite nicely up there.
And the rosemary.
So they are the psycho chilies, the Quackamunga psycho chilies of Doom. Highly hallucinogenic, I believe, when taken in large quantities.
No, it's never good to and obviously when you're doing your stuff in the woods, got to be taught. It's got to have a little bit of give, but you know, like flapping around like granny's knickers on the line.
Signalling.
Yes.
Signaling. Some people do find that I've done it before now. I've seen people set up a hammock, get in their hammock, and their bums touching the floor.
You got to allow for
support.
Bountage. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
You might look like your hammock's fine at that level, but you put your body weight in it, and your bum scraping.
When I'm setting up my hammock, I always set up my hammock so when I initially look at it before I've sat in it, I go, it's just a little bit too high. And then invariably I find it actually settles to the right height for me. If I look at it and go, that's just right, or that's a bit low, my arse is going to be skipping
now
the
for
floor.
the stretch, or is it they're afraid of heights?
Could be.
If they're afraid of heights, see, if it does give in the night, you haven't got so far to fall.
Yeah. And it's like setting up the chain on your bike, isn't it? Not that I go for bikes with chains. I'm a shaft drive and a belt drive man these days, but I remember in the days where I used to adjust my chain, the amount of mates I had with just a chain, like a piano wire, and then they'd get on it and then wonder why it weared so quick.
I like those, the hammocks that they have, the ones you have in the garden, the flat ones, and they have the bits there, and you see people get on them, they just automatically flick over and they end up flat on the floor.
All about balance. Cute, that's the son of head height.
Yeah, well, that's because you're so blooming tall.
Yeah. So, Mr. D, what have you been up to? I missed your live the other day, and I'm gutted about that. I'm sorry, mate.
Yeah, I said to myself, I was on D's live.
Is it raining here?
It was just now. It's typical because I bought myself, always wanted those cast iron bistro sets for the garden, the heavy ones, not the folding ones.
Yeah.
And I bought one, and this afternoon I thought it's dry enough. I'll spray the tape. I showed it grey, now I sprayed it white, and I was got to go paint the roses. And of course, I finished painting it, and it started raining.
Yeah, it's still drizzling out there. Still drizzling. We got a steady fall here. Slightly overcast. Lucy's got a storm there with wind and rain bad. Yeah, it's supposed to be swinging up towards us. I've got.
We get flood warnings because we registered with the Environmental Agency, and we get phone calls to let us know that. And Alexa does it as well, doesn't she now?
Yeah, got put on standby. Excuse me, yawning. Got put on standby last week for emergencies, flood response.
The emergency stops it, Stealth. It just goes on.
I volunteer for 2 or 3 different organisations to stand by with my skills and abilities in the event of an emergency. And again, that's something I suggest some of you guys do. If you want to get a bit of training, or you want to progress your skills, or you want to use your skills, have a look round. Right? You will find pretty much in every county in the UK there is a volunteer rescue service. If it's a mountainous area, you'll have mountain rescue, moorland rescue. Around here, we have it's not mountain rescue; it's just rescue because we don't have the mountains. But these organisations are set up to go look for lost walkers, children, people that have strayed off, been injured. In fact, this year I think they've been called out about 5 times. 2 of the occasions were actually to look for somebody with dementia that had gone off walking and they thought they might be lost in a forested area. But through these organisations, they run map training, they GPS training, first aid training, responder training, and all that.
They volunteer.
They're all volunteer groups. You're not going to get paid for doing it. However, the bonus is you're giving back to the community. And the other thing is you're then linked into the emergency responder organisations countrywide. So in the event that you live in an area that might be prone to flooding, you're one of the guys that's going to get a phone call quite early on to say, grab your kit and stand by if you're available.
Well,
we may have
a call out. Live in Lavoo.
Now, that does 2 things for you. That gives you a heads up that there is a problem or likely to be a problem in your area. So you can start sorting your own loved ones out. You can say to them, don't panic, just maybe move a couple of the items that are prone to flooding upstairs. But it also means that you are there. Okay, if something happens, then you can help to respond. You can help to protect and save other people.
Mac, did you hear any more about that gentleman? Mac put something on Facebook earlier that is it an elderly gentleman had fallen on the road, and that he was going to have to wait 7 hours
for an ambulance.
for an ambulance. So hopefully that someone helped him. Hi, FU crew.
Good surgeon. Yeah, it is. It's
We're
always
part of-
worthwhile. Don't get me wrong. Some of these organisations, there's always somebody in the group that can be a little bit officious or a little bit of a know-it-all twat. But invariably, most of these organisations and groups I've found very, very, very likeable people. The majority of people are doing it for exactly the same reason. They want to give something back to their community. And they also use it as a learning curve, again, so they can go and do some of the courses that are available. I know for hours we do things like swiftwater rescue.
No, couldn't, yeah.
So, again, for dealing with flooding and things like that, where we will then
good to hear,
go
Mac.
and help and assist people, the organisations like the fire brigade and that. And again, we're not at their level. We're not, we can't turn around the fire brigade and go back off you lot. We're here now.
During COVID, we were
assist.
We were delivering masks and things like that to old people's homes, children's hospitals.
Which again was a bonus for me because it gave me a chip to put into my vehicle, which
dear.
basically meant that when I was stopped by the police, I was on official duties, which then gave me the scope to be able to. It was amazing for me. For weeks and weeks and weeks, I was driving all over southern England.
There was nothing on the road, was there?
Mercedes Vito van, loading it up every morning and dropping emergency supplies off to care homes and old people's homes, because obviously they couldn't get it with medicines and all sorts. Even one run, I got loaded up with body bags.
Yeah,
went to an emergency mortuary, which is now a supermarket.
Yeah, that was quite a
weird.
No, because we went there and I went, "Do you recognise this place?" He went, "No." I said, "We bought body bags here. This was a temporary mortuary before, and now it's a food shop."
But again, it gave me that ticket. So again, it's a bit selfish in one respect because it gave me a chip meant like that. But you're getting back something for putting something out. And the great thing for me there was the great experience it was being able to drive from where I'm in Farnborough to Southampton, where I used to do my pickups, all the way down the M3 for a good, got to be 35 miles, and not seeing one single vehicle either way.
I've actually got one.
Just amazing.
I've got one of the larger ones. It's my my big 4x4 mobility scooter. It's its bag, isn't it? It's its cover.
Yeah.
I've got a body bag for that.
Yeah, they do make good bivvy bags. Absolutely brilliant bivvy bags.
Oh, yeah. Prayers for soldiers who have been called back to go to Cyprus tonight.
It's kicking off out there again, is it?
Yeah, Max said.
Oh, well,
good night, Ali.
So, if anybody does see this, it's a family member of any of the British servicemen that have been recalled to fly out to Cyprus. Yeah, our thoughts and prayers are with you as well, and our thoughts and prayers are with the guys that are going out there.
That's brilliant, Ray. Yeah, with our one, if the weather's bad in the winter, you often get called out to move doctors and nurses.
I see that. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. So it's brewing. It is brewing. So again, make sure you got your prep sorted, guys.
Yeah.
Winter's coming. Stock up on those essential items that you need. If you require medicines, get hold of your chemist, get hold of your doctor, ask for a 6-month supply, which is all right, and see what they can sort you out.
And also,
make sure you're well stocked.
Owen has Life's a Hobby, brilliant. He's these fluorescent tape. He put his tape and all his equipment he took out. It's on his channel. But I'm wanting them because if the power goes out, you reach for your torch. You got to find the torch first, and that. But I thought if you some of that tape, if I could put it on the torch and
your
things
walking
like that,
stick.
Yeah. So I'm going to find things in the dark. Brilliant idea. Can we use it outdoors inside?
to take a quote. Yeah, 16 aerosol. Yeah, it's better to be 16 aerosol.
Yes,
18 UKSF as well. I expect. I did see the was it SFSG lads were getting really busy the other day. So yeah, yeah.
I noticed that it's on the Hampton Isle of Wight thing, not to do with the soldiers, but they had to get water in because people were having an issue about water supplies, and they kicked off because the water was brought from Norway. Does it matter where your bloody water comes from?
Yeah.
If you've got, I don't want to say, oh, I'm not drinking that because it's not British water. If you've got no other way of getting water, it doesn't matter if it's Nordic, it doesn't matter if it's French, it doesn't matter if it's Spanish.
Oh, hang on.
Water's water.
Let's think about this practically. So you can have good old British water, which is probably reconstituted water that's been through the sewage farm and been cleaned and filtered and passed through.
We've
about
still got
40
some
people.
Nordic water.
Or you can have some Nordic water, which has came from a glacier, which has been locked up for the last 20,000 years and is slowly dribbling out quite happily. Which one would you fancy?
I'm sure that it doesn't matter. You know, the people that are being affected by the lack of water don't care where the water comes from, as long as they've got water to cook with, drink with, and wash with.
I'll tell you what, Kaz, if I'd been part of the organisation that was supplying that water, I'd have pulled it back from them, given them 24 hours. I guarantee they'd have taken it then.
Yeah, they said that, Mac, that we've had warnings for tomorrow, isn't it? From midday, it's going to be really bad again.
Yeah, it's supposed to be picking up. Yeah,
I mean, we've got water in.
I've got 80 litres of water permanently stashed here in my jerry cans. It's purely tabbed up. It's sealed up. It's ready to go.
Cold rainwater, exactly. Yeah. We have the jerry can. Whenever we find it, because what we used to do is fill the bath up. Yeah. But we had to get rid of the bath to have a wet room put in. So yeah, we just fill the containers up, and I usually buy the big bottles of water. It's only about £1.60.
I'm not even going to try and say that, John.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, water is, and again, you know what, I see this time again in videos. So you get survival videos, survival channels, and here I'm making a fire, and I'm making another fire, and I'm going to make another fire, and I'm going to make another fire. Very, very few people you'll actually see go through the most essential thing that you're going to require, which is water, safe water.
Yeah.
You're not going long without safe water. Don't get me wrong, fire is great, but the problem is the whole drama thing, isn't it? Fire's spectacular. Do fire. Water's boring.
Yeah, but if you burn yourself, what do you need to get? You need
water. Is essential. It is essential. Yeah.
That's it. I mean, it's another way. It's another prepping survival thing is to have some water of some sort. We've always got, because it's like pets.
Yeah.
It's not just like us human beings. Yeah, we can have squash or orange juice, things like that. But your pets.
Kiwi. Kiwi. It's one of the first things I suggest anybody gets on their prepping list. Is I'm not going to tell you which one to use. I use the soya. Okay. The soya and Grail are the two leading ones. Okay, and it's whichever one suits your pocket and suits you.
And you've got your Millbank bag.
I like the soya. I have a Millbank bag as well. Yeah, and the Millbank bag acts as a primary filter, but you can use anything that's cloth. Really, is that primary filter? It's for taking the bits out. The reason you do a primary filter in any system, whether it be Grail or whether it be soya, is the more particulates you can stop from getting in there, the longer life you're going to get out of it. But both the Grail and the soya can be backwashed. So with the soya, when you buy it, oh, sorry, Willie.
That sounds good, Andy. Yeah.
Where is the one? I don't filter. Filter is there. Right. So, in the Sawyer kit, and again, I can't speak for the Grail because I don't have one, but I know Dee does, and I know Life's a Hobby uses Grail. And again, I'm not saying that one's better than the other because they both have their places, but I like the Sawyer. I've used these for years. 99.9% of all viruses and bacteria and protozoa. Now, there's the reason I like this one is I can use this like a straw. So I can literally put that end in my mouth, put that end into a puddle and suck on it and drink from it without a problem. It comes with a hose, a little rubber pipe in the kit. Okay, now this pipe is really for backwashing or taking water. If you like to go get water out of a notch between a couple of branches and a tree, you can pop that into it and get a suck on it. You get that. It also comes with the bag. Now, the idea of the bag is you fill the bag with dirty water. If you've got plenty of time, you can just leave it to hang, dribble into your container, or you can squeeze it through.
Definitely boil after filtering.
Okay. It works really, really well. The other thing that I like about it as a piece of kit is in the kit you get one of these. And that syringe, basically, you connect to the pipe and you backwash it. And basically what it does, I should say, backwash it, you put it on that way round. So you put that on the drinking end and you pump clean water back through it when you get home. Or if you filtered your water, you can put a couple of squirts of filtered water back through. And basically that prolongs the life of these by a lot. And these are good for hundreds of thousands of gallons of water or litres of water. Really, in theory, what I was working out when I first got it and I was looking at all the stats, you're really only ever going to require one in your lifetime.
Yeah, that's very
there
true.
is people that say to me these bags split. Well, they will do with time, with age and all the rest of it. It is plastic. It does break down over 5-6 years and eventually it will split and fail on you. But you can also put any size drinks bottle, standard drinks bottle screws into the end of that. You can also buy other bags, bigger bags, smaller bags, bladders and that. So what you can do in theory is put a Camelback bladder on that, have the filter on it, literally have it on your kit there and just drink directly from it, or put the straw on it and drink directly from it. So it's quite an efficient bit of kit. I've carried that everywhere, and in places it's 99.9%. So the majority of water I'm happy to drink straight from that.
John wants to know: is your Sawyer has a male thread? What is it? Does your Sawyer have the male thread on the outflow end?
Okay, so on the outflow end, it is literally just a smooth cap, and I'm not going to open it up. No. It's just a smooth end. It is literally for drinking from. On the feed in end, it has the threaded end. So basically, like I say, it will take a standard water bottle.
But as Matt was saying, he said, if you come across a water feeder for cattle, the feed of cattle isolating the supply gives you drinking water from the mate because they're all mains.
All mains fed. Yeah, it has to be by law. It's not allowed to be anything. It has to be clean water. So again, I like that. Again, one of the reasons I like that, it's a small system. Okay, for what it is, I don't need to take the bag. I can drink straight from, or I can fold the bag up, put it in the kit when I get to camp, fill that with dirty water, and then start filling my drinks bottles up. But it's quite small. It's quite simple. A lot of the guys I've met from the SF and that, they like them for that reason as well. It's a bit of kit that they can throw into their gear. It's small and efficient. Now, the one downside of these, everything has a downside, is that cannot be frozen. Okay? Cannot allow that to freeze. So what a lot of guys will do is they'll actually carry it in their kit or close to their body. Now, there's two mindsets to that. One, you carry it close to your body because it stops it from freezing. but also you're carrying close to your body. You're never going to forget it because, again,
I don't think that does seawater, does it? That one?
No. All right. No filter system apart from a reverse osmosis pump will take salt out of water. The problem with salt, when salt dilutes, it dilutes to such a molecular level. Basically, if the water can get through the membrane, the salt will as well. Okay, so you need a reverse osmosis pump, and that works by pressure. A reverse osmosis pump creates enough pressure to solidify the salt, okay, which encapsulates the salt and then allows you to drink the clean water. But again, if you're working with urine or you're working with salt water, you distill it. Always distill it. That's my go-to. So basically, unlike Mr. Bear Grylls, if I was bad that I had to drink my own urine, it would go into a container. I would boil it off, capture the steam in a piece of cloth, wring it out. Now, what happens there is the salts don't boil off; they stay in the container. You end up with salty residue in that. You're collecting the water vapor off of it.
I think you want to know if you got the male thread fittings, the blue ones.
No, I haven't. I need to get them. Well, so yeah, I ought to try and get them really for the kit. But it's I do like the soya.
Maybe he's asking you for a reason.
Yeah, a lot of the guys I have. I know a lot of guys use the Grail, and again, I can't comment on the Grail purely because I don't have one. And there's a reason I don't have one. That is that they're not cheap. Grail, if you see this, if you want to send me one, want me to review it, yeah, I'm more than happy to give it a try and let you know what I think. There are many filter systems out there. There are a lot, like Life Straw. That's another good company, which has been copied by a lot of cheap Chinese or cheap,
Chinese,
cheap knockoff firms.
Ones on Temu.
Don't trust them. Don't trust them. If it's not a genuine Life Straw, or it's not a genuine soya, or it's not a genuine Grail bought pretty much from them, then don't bother. And the thing is, I say to you is, yes, they're not cheap. These aren't cheap. Okay, but you're only going to buy one. Same thing with the Grail, same thing with Life Straw. You're only going to buy one. It will do you for donkey's years.
Kitten's saying he's got water. He's got an adapter for his Kelly kettle to use seawater.
Yeah, yes, you can. I was looking at one the other day, and it was a copper pipe spiral system that basically turned your Kelly kettle into a distillation system. Absolutely brilliant idea. So, and again, distill your water, boil your water. Yeah,
I think he was. I think John. He's intended to get the male one anyway. So don't worry, because John sent you one of the Dave Canterbury's Nalgene bottle cap to soil filter.
Yeah, I'll get one. I'll get one. Now it's it's again, when we talk about kit, it is one of the essentials is your water. As if not more essential than your
food, isn't it?
Yeah, your food. It's more essential than I won't say more essential than your shelter, but it's it should be right up there on your list of things. It's not something to skimp at. If you're building a kit, I mean,
and you were saying an old pressure cooker with a copper coil would distill salt water.
Yeah. Distillation is should be, if you've got the ability, the time, the scope. I built one of my early videos. I actually built a still here. I jury rigged one together, made a still, and was distilling water. It's something you can do with a little bit of common sense and thought. Because all you're doing is collecting steam, running it into a pipe, cooling it back to water.
That's the same as putting tarp out, isn't it, to collect the water at night?
Yeah.
When
Collecting dew, and again, that thing that rainwater and dew are the only two water sources that you can really, really trust. Because again, nature has distilled it for you. So other than that, I see people going, oh yeah, it's spring fed, this water, I'm going to drink straight from it. I wouldn't, not without putting it through a filter.
Just do my people right. Well, Annie, what I'm going to be starting to do is I'm going to be doing some recipes, etc. And I've got a recipe for making wine from hawthorn berries.
It'd be interesting to try.
Mm.
Be interesting to try. So yeah. So water should be right up there on your list of priorities. And again, even if you're not in extreme situations and that, just one of the things with the soil, when we got an alert earlier this year to say that there was a problem with the water around here, I already had 80 litres of water collected and purified. But I also was happy in the knowledge that if I had to, if we burnt through that, I could still use the soil and start filtering out litres and litres of water for me and Kaz to use through the soil.
Hi, Tim. How are you on this wonderful evening?
Hi, T. How you doing?
Andy, that I like. There's a
don't make a bomb.
Place in Burley in the New Forest, and they do oak leaf wine, and at different times of the year it makes different sorts of wine.
Yeah.
I do like that.
Yeah, oak leaf wine for us Druids is a very, very special wine. Have a cold? Got a bit of a cold myself. Actually, got the sniffles. I'm a bit run down at the moment.
Yeah, I've started. We the last couple of weeks we went through our first aid kit, the one that keep in the kitchen, and we've started stocking up on paracetamols, ibuprofen, cold flu relief, and at the moment Morrison's are doing the Lemsip cough syrup. It's normally £8 a bottle, and it's £4 at the moment. So I've got some of those for dry chesty coughs and that, because
prepping.
It's prepping. If you're feeling crap, you don't want to be going out just to get stuff to make you feel better. If you've already got it in the house, prep for yourself in your first aid kit, then yeah.
Well, there's two bonuses to that, isn't there? There's one.
I've got mine next month.
Yeah, you don't have to go out. It means you can just tuck up in bed, take your cough flu relief or whatever, tuck up in bed and start sorting yourself out. And also means you're not going to the chemists, the shops, or out and about spreading those germs. Because again, I used to work with a bloke. I used to bug the tits out of me. He'd come into work. Oh, I got flu. But I'm man enough to take it. I'd be like, thanks, just giving everybody in the office flu. Wonderful. So you've got 4 sergeants in there. You've got me. You've got a couple of corporals. They're all going down with flu.
And your vitamin
Cheers, mate.
Vitamin C capsules, vitamin D capsules. Yeah. Take it that time of year that getting less and less sun. So
get your vitamin D capsules now,
and your vitamin C.
Start boosting your immune system, beefing yourself up. Yeah, I really used to. You get these manly men that come into work, go, I've got flu, and I'm like, cheers.
You could, Kiwi, yeah.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah,
and invariably,
I've got my flu jab the 17th, I believe.
Yeah, and invariably they haven't got flu; they've just got a bad cold. Because as somebody that's had a little bit of medical training and a little bit of experience, let me tell you this much: there is a test for influenza. Okay, there is a test for influenza, and I can tell you how you can test yourself to find out if you've got influenza. Okay, if you have influenza, imagine that you're stood at your window, you've looked out of your window, and right outside your house on the pavement there's a £10 note just sitting there. Nobody about, just sitting there. And if you looked at it and went, okay, I'll go back to bed, right, you've got influenza. If you can be asked to get off your arse, go out and pick it up, I guarantee you haven't got influenza.
You're right. Turmeric. I take turmeric with black pepper, little tablets, and they're all right until you kind of get your drink of water down, but they've started dissolving already, and your tongue's burning from black pepper.
Oh,
but yeah, it's always worthwhile to have have your vitamins and.
No, we're doing a couple of little projects. It's like I had a couple of these little old snuff jars, so a bit of beeswax and a bit of jute twine in there.
Yeah.
I started knocking up a couple of little emergency candles just to sling in the car kit and that.
Yeah.
And again, really practically, is that really going to give you a lot? Might give you a couple of hours burn, but again, it's a fun little project.
I take it because I have arthritis and I also have Hashimoto disease.
Syndrome. You've got a syndrome.
I've got a syndrome, yes.
She has a syndrome.
It means my body, when I get colds or flus and things like that, it's actually my thyroid is attacked by my body. So yeah, I have to take anti-inflammatories. So that 4 candles. Yeah, that's it. I mean, my friend said, you've got so many candles. Yeah, listen, I've got candles, matches, we got lighters, we got
Night Ray, take it easy, mate.
Prince.
Have a great week. Enjoy yourself.
Ray.
Keep the videos coming. Thoroughly enjoying them. Keep showing me the countryside because I can't get out at the moment, so I'm actually getting a great deal of pleasure out of watching everybody else's videos and thinking, I wish I was there.
Oh God, excuse me, my nose has come out.
Are
again.
you? So
I'm just going to put my nose back in.
you have to watch out with Kaz's nose. If she sneezes, she's been known
It's
to
not so bad.
break things to the other side of the room.
But yeah,
Goes
I
off
have
like
it
an air rifle.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right there, getting influenza. People, oh, I got flu.
Yeah, that's what I said when they said to me he got Hashimoto disease. Yeah, is that do with smoking weed on a Japanese motorbike? It could be because most of his motorbikes I've been on have been Japs, haven't they? Kawasaki's, Hondas, and Suzuki's.
A bit off, Pat. Bit off of what we normally talk about. We were chatting about motorbikes last week. For those of you who are into your bikes, has anybody else seen the was it bearded bike mechanic?
Yeah,
that I've just found it. Used to be with Bikes and Beards. Now set up a channel on his own, and he goes out buying like old bikes that have been in a shed or a barn find, stuff like that, and gets them running. Absolutely brilliant. Thoroughly enjoying it. Because again, the guy takes it back to a level that we can all live alongside and understand. No fancy schmancy lasers.
You like it, Kitten, because he is turning a Maggot, CX500 into
an adventure bike. Yeah, he got an old CX500 that was seized, and it was pretty much it was a mess.
No, not the Ret Bike Engineer. It's actually called the bearded. Yeah, because he got a Honda Goldwing. And it looked rough. It was rough. And he got it. He said, I can get it started. It's going to depend if it's going to be a donor bike or whether it'll be a runner. And he put all the stuff in, started it, sounded fantastic. And all of a sudden, as he noticed the fuel line had split, the whole thing just went whoosh, with flames. But so yeah, he had a motorbike on fire in his garage, surrounded by motorbikes and all sorts of other bits and pieces. But yeah, we do. He was doing. He had a little Harley, and I've never seen something so tiny. It was actually his friend's.
Okay, so I don't see it there. No, you can't see it that well on that. Right, it's called the Bearded Mechanic. Okay, just the Bearded Mechanic, and like I say, his old bikes from the 70s, 60s, 80s, and basically he buys them as old dogs or gets them donated to his channel in some cases as old dogs. And people are like, got this old bike sat in the garage for the last 40 years. Do you want it? See if you can get it running. And he gets it. It's not all of them successes, but yeah, getting back to basic mechanic skills.
Especially after if you go onto Kitten Killer's channel with his scooter, he's got.
Yeah.
He's.
The old Honda Transalp. Now that was a good bike. Now you got me.
He said he's thinking about an old portable business because he was actually saying that one of the bikes he had was he had a XS 650, which is called Little Wolf, and yeah, because you had the big one, the little one.
I'd like that back.
You'd like that back.
I'd like that back.
Yeah.
That was a nice light little bike. You could chuck that around like a mad thing. So yeah, I'm
Everyone borrowed that. Jason used to ride it.
Yeah.
Our son used to ride it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was literally my spare bike because I didn't want to lend out my 1100 at the time. So that was like I used to use it as like a little around town, a little pub, a bar hopper. You know,
you wanted to go to quickly whip down the shop.
Yeah.
To run out of milk or something.
Great little 650 that was. Yeah, I've been looking. I went online and had a look for a Honda XL 250s. Ooh, yeah, out of my budget, definitely. Had a look for XT 500s.
Yeah, because that bearded mechanic the other day, he went to someone's house and for 25 years they had in the garage, it was a KLM 200.
Yeah.
But it had everything. It had all the no cracks on the panels. It had all the panels, all the hand guards and all that. Beautiful. He got that running.
Yeah. So yeah, I am looking. I will find another bike and we will build a post-apocalyptic bike. Come prepper, survivalist.
John's first one was a CB350.
Hey, good bikes. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I will build something.
Yeah, it's like we were saying about because after the CX come the VT, didn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if would that do the same or would it?
The VT really. Would be too heavy.
Yeah,
it's like the CX
or a scooter, as Kitten keeps saying.
Yeah. He does keep saying scooter, and I but then I also had a look at the Bergman 400, and I was like,
Andy was saying that on the Bristol area Facebook, there's a lot of XLs and XTs. See, Matt was saying he'd like a scrambler.
Yeah. I wonder.
What was that one you had?
Like an old
years back.
I would like an old Honda single cylinder 4-stroke. It's what I'm really looking for because they're just bulletproof. They're easy to maintain. They just keep going on and on and on and on and on. So yeah, something like an old XT or an XL. Yeah, I might. So Andy, I might have to I'll have a look at the Bristol site. It might mean me charging.
We're funny enough, we bought it's like a lot of our Land Rovers and that come from Wales. Derby's where your XVS.
Well, that's the thing, it's areas. So if you go out to a rural area, you're going to find more rural themed bikes around here. It's all sport bikes, and to be honest with you, sport bikes have never tickled me fancy. The sportiest.
He never crumbled his biscuit, did
No,
it?
they never crumbled my biscuit. The sportiest sport bike I've ever owned was Suzuki Katana 1100. Right, Mark 1. First year of production. Viciously fast for what it was in its time. Today, not so much, but in its day, that was a bike to own, and I whole story behind that one, which I can't tell, but it was that was a severe bike. XL 250 400 definitely, Andy. That would be the way to go. That would, the 250 probably more than the 400. Again, purely because I'm looking at something.
Right, T. I hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, I'm looking for something that I can, in theory, being an old fart in his 60s, manhandle cross country. And this has been one of my premises because originally I was like, right, that's it. Let's get something small. Let's get a Sportster. Let's get a Harley Davidson 1200 Sportster Ironhead. That would be ideal.
Yeah, XL 500. Yeah.
Not practical. Okay, so I want to be able to go up a byway. So this is theory. In theory, the test for the bike would be I could ride it from here to Stealth in Wales, and I could do a byway in Wales on it.
Or you could go up to Kitten.
Or I could go up to Kitten in Scotland Scotland. I could ride from here to Scotland, spend a couple of days up there with Kitten, do a
Bring
bit
me
of
back
local
a
touring,
haggis.
and do a byway on it, and carry all my kit that I need for that adventure. So it's got to be able to carry tentage, I've got to be able to carry cook systems, I've got to be able to carry fuel for cook systems, I've got to be able to carry food, change your clothes, all the kit I need on that bike. Now that sounds quite simple. We sit there and go, couple of throw over panniers, got those in the shed, back box possibly. Yeah, that's all great. But I want it to be.
What's that scrambler you had that I tried riding?
That was the Kawasaki. That was the KLR.
Yeah, KLR.
Yeah.
One tried to ride that. I took it for a ride around the garden. The first and only time that Kaz actually tried to ride a motorbike. Yep.
Wasn't the best choice of bikes. Had a vicious old power band on it, and
yes, I was. Yeah, it just seemed to want to head towards the willow tree. Rather a large willow tree. So that was my one and only time that I've tried a motorbike. And no.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be. You're right there, John. It would beat me senseless on a long run. So again, the bike's got to be comfortable enough to ride. It's got to be able to maintain 70 miles an hour for a prolonged period. So it's going to have to be a 4-stroke. It's going to have to be a single for ease of maintenance. So that again, it's got to come back to I've got to be able to carry everything I need to maintain this thing with it. I'm going to be buying something older. So again, simplicity comes back to what it is. So
the thing is, you made bits for Candy and Best, didn't you? Light mountains and headlight things and that. You can
perfect world, air cooled, single cylinder, 4-stroke. Okay, simplicity, dead easy, simple to maintain, simple to look after, simple to ride, minimum of dramas, minimum of hassle, fairly light.
You can weld it, not bad. You can weld, can't you? Not
What's
bad.
That?
Andy was asking, can you?
Yeah, I can weld. Yeah, I can weld. I wouldn't say I'm the prettiest welds in the world, but I've never had a weld snap, and I've fixed a few chassis and that in my time. Yeah, I can weld, mate. I've chopped a few bikes in my time, and lowered a few bikes and stretched a few bikes, and built sissy bars and ape hangers, and made my own handlebars, and repaired exhausts, and done all the usual stuff that you do in a bike club. Yeah. It sounds like I'm talking about it. I tell you what, that Honda CR-V, do you know what? I cannot fault it. I keep trying to find fault in it. I can't fault it. It's a brilliant
it's
car.
Like tomorrow, I've managed to find a small 2-seater bench that matches the bistro set I've already got. So we're going to
part of Caroline's recycling and upcycling plan.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the plan. Is bike or a twin, even a twin, or ideally a V-twin.
I do like my V-twins.
You sit there and your practical head goes 250 to 400 cc because you think of the weight, and then your heart goes.
Your brain goes a little bit
1200,
and a little bit more,
and then your common sense head goes set of scramble bars. Your heart side goes extend the front forks by 18 inches. Put a set of ape hangers on it. It'd look really cool.
You've got to have something to tie your tarps to that too, haven't you?
Yeah.
Your tarps on the front, your DD tarp on the front.
Yeah.
So,
it's so let's see. It's going to be Mad Max meets Easy Rider. That's pretty much what I'm looking at.
The Arkansas Chagabug.
Mad Max meets Easy Rider.
I'm losing. My phone is turning off now because I've run out of juice. Yeah,
we're nearly there now. Anyhow, we're 1 hour and 58 minutes. So we're so Norton Commando. Yeah, Kitten, that would be a beautiful chop and would sound done in. Now, which would you prefer? Which model of Commando do you prefer? 750? Fixer upper? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a fixer upper really. I want something that's I've done it in the past. I went out to buy a Yamaha XVLS 1100, and I wanted a no mileage model, and I found one with 12,000 miles on it, pristine, absolutely mint, beautiful. Guy kept it in a heated garage on carpets. You know, unfortunately, it passed, and I went all the way up to Hull to buy it. I bought it off of his wife, and I brought it back, and all the way back I'm looking at it and I'm going, right, I'm going to do that to it. I'm going to cut this, break that, change this, change that, change that. Got it back. Within 2 days of looking at the bike, I was like, it's too good to do anything to.
Yeah, can't do it.
And literally, the only thing I did with it was stick a set of apes on it. It was just too pretty. It was in a candy red, and the paint was beautiful. It had been, right, so the bike had been brought to the UK by a USAF guy, and the bike had been built in New Orleans, all right, and it bought it brand new from Yamaha and then put it into a shop, had it resprayed in a candy apple red. It had all the accessories put on it, Cobra pipes and all the rest of it, and I had ended up with this at 12,000 miles, and it was just pristine. It was beautiful, and I never touched it by putting the apes on it, serviced it regular and all the rest of it, and then that moved on to a friend of mine a couple of years later in a bike club. He's still got it today.
You found on eBay there was a couple of very rude ladies. Yeah, and Candy's actually got one of these on the back, so where a sissy bar is. As you see, she's
yeah, it was basically, it's a foot peg, right? And so basically one of these I built a giant sissy bar for it, good 18-20 inch sissy bar, and then mounted her on the back, looking off the back like that. And I kept this one because this one is going to go on another bike sometime, so this might go on my survival bike. Because if you're going to have a mascot, that's the mascot to have.
Yeah.
Right. It's yeah, maybe a bit junior of me, but there we go.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So the thing is, it's going to have this one. Next one's going to have to be a fixer upper because I'm going to be doing a lot of modding to it. Except for the front rod Jeremy's Rolls Royce, it might as well have been.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's got an angry beaver.
Really?
Right, chaps. Anyhow, I'm going to call it quits there because that's been 2 hours. Thank you for joining us on this rather miserable Sunday.
My phone is...
Sorry I haven't been quite my usual self. I am feeling a little bit off colour at the moment, but thank you for picking me up. You've all made me feel a little bit better and a little bit happier.
Thank you for the support on the video that I helped you do. Yeah. And I look forward to sorting out something.
Doing another one.
Doing this week. Sorting out one of the pagan foods one.
Yes. And I look forward to finding my next project, my next motorcycle through this winter. I'm not going to rush into it. I'm going to have a look around. But if any of you do happen to come across a Honda single cylinder 4-stroke floating around in your area, going dirt cheap, preferably running. I'd like to hear it running if I can because I hate rebuilding engines. But bear me in mind. Yeah, bodywork doesn't matter.
Night Owen, Night Andy, Kitten.
Yep.
I have to see from a distance.
Kiwi, Andy, Life's a Hobby, John Kennedy, Stealth, Sticks, Andy outside, Kitten Killer, Living Lavoo if you're still there. Guys, take it easy. Janet. Mary, Janet, everybody else, have a great week, right? Hopefully the weather's going to sort itself out. Have your adventures, get outside, get some fresh air, feel loved because you are. Love those you do. Forgive those you don't. And as always, peace and light be upon you all. Have a wonderful time.
And stay safe out there, people, with all this bad weather.
Yeah. And again, as I said, to those guys in America that are suffering with the weather at the moment, our hearts and prayers go out to you all. Stay safe wherever you are in this world of ours. Take care. Night all.
Night.
Till next week. This is Mickey and Kaz, if I can find the mouse.
And Willow, who stopped moaning. Oh, he's down there.
Mickey out. Oh, cheers, Owen. Much appreciated. Congrats on the 1.6. Yeah, we made it 1.6. Thank you. Yeah, cheers to that Stealth. Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you.
Take care. Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Mickey, Kaz out.
Yeah, my phone died.